Okay, we are at the Homilani Cemetery, as you can see back there. The unofficial start of the Molokai Forest Reserve mountain bike tour. Anyway, this will be the first time that I'm going to be taking out this e-bike. This is a Specialized Turbo Levo Comp. As far as quality wise, there's 4 models. This is the second from the lowest. The way it is right now, it's about $6,000, but compared to a regular bike, I paid a lot more for just a regular bike, so this is actually a good deal. My purpose today is I want to find out how long the battery will last. So I'm going to try to make it all the way up to the lookout, which is 11 miles and about 3,000 feet of climbing. The last time I went up there on my regular mountain bike, it took me 2 hours 45 minutes riding time. Yeah, so as I get older it gets harder, but I'm hoping that this will kind of level out the playing field. So I'll keep you guys informed. Okay, I'm about 15 minutes into my ride, and as you can see, I'm pretty much warmed up. So far so good. The bike seems to know when I need help. Kicks in automatically. I don't even have to think about it. And when pressure is released on the pedal, like when I hit a flat, the assist stops, so I'm pedaling like I would a regular bike. So far, really impressed. Here's a car coming. I gotta let him go. Okay, that was Richard Reed. He lives up there about a mile further up in one of these valleys. Anyway, let's get going again. Okay, like I say, it automatically kicks in when I need it, and it kicks out when I don't. So right now I have it on its lowest setting, which is 20% assist, and because I'm still in fairly good shape, it works so far. And what I tried doing at the beginning was I said, okay, you know what, I'm just going to leave the motor off and not turn it on until I really need it. And then it didn't take me long to realize that because of the weight of this bike, I think the spec says it's 43 pounds, give or take. This is a size small, so it might be a little bit lighter, maybe not. But anyway, and a 3-inch wide tires, which creates a lot of resistance. Yeah. But the advantage of the wide tires is the traction I can get. You can really feel the traction kicking in, and it adds to the suspension. So as far as the suspension goes, there's a 160 millimeters up front, which is what is that, about 5 inches, 5 maybe 6, and the same for the rear. So this bike has got plenty of travel, and I have an option of putting on 24-inch wheels with 3-inch tires, and what that'll do is it'll drop the ride height by 3.5 inches. Yeah, so it'll make it more like a 26-inch bike than a 650B, which is 27.5. Okay, I'm at taking a break here in the shade, and it's not because I had to, but because it's such a beautiful day. Look at that. It's such a beautiful day that I find myself being able to look around and, you know, check things out more. I'm not so much intent on making that climb because I know I'm going to make it and it's not going to be a problem. So this climb right here, for those of you who have mountain bike up here, is the first steep climb. I'm saying steep because it's steeper than what we've had so far. And because you can see the entire length of the climb, it makes it a little bit hard, because for those of you who ride, you know that psychologically what you see has an impact on what happens. So if you ride a bike at night, climbing hills is like no problem because you can't really see what you're doing. But in the day, that same hill becomes a problem because mentally you're thinking about it. Yeah, so I don't even think about hills now with this thing. And let me get off this thing. From a, you know, conservative standpoint, if you look at it, it looks like a regular mountain bike. Yeah, you can't really distinguish it. Oh, this thing here is my my Bluetooth speaker. Yeah, you got to have sound when you're riding, you know what I mean? So unless anybody knows this is an e-bike, they won't even have a clue. It's so quiet. It's quiet to the point where I can hear the teeth engaging the sprockets, you know, the chain, and you can hear that on a regular mountain bike. So that's how quiet this motor is. I just wanted you guys to see how full this reservoir is. It's man, it's within like a foot, maybe 1.5 feet from the very top. So you can imagine how much rain we had. This pretty big reservoir, you know, probably I don't know, maybe 200-300 feet wide and 400 or 500 feet long. I'm just guessing, but sure looks big to me. Okay, let me tell you what we got so far. We made it up to the forest reserve, approximately halfway, and wow, not even an hour. So that's actual riding time, less than an hour. And I still got 70% battery left in that thing. I started off in the eco mode, which is 20% assist, and that went all right until I started hitting the long hard climb. And because of the weight of the bike, the 20% assist was just like riding a regular bike without the motor. So I kicked it up a notch to 50%, which is the trail default setting. And they say you get between 35 to 50 miles depending on the terrain, and since this is all uphill, I'm gonna stick with the low. So if my calculations are correct, by the time I get to the lookout, I should still have at least half battery, 50%, which is what I'm hoping for, because if that's the case, then that means I can go as far as I want and then take the other roads down to the highway on the south side, and I won't have to retract my my route, which is okay. So anyway, I found myself smiling climbing up that last really steep hill, because on a regular bike I'm really struggling, you know. I even stopped maybe once or twice, especially this time of the day, yeah, middle of the day. But on this one, I didn't even have to stop, and it's the first time I've ridden uphill and I felt the wind sizzling past my ears. You usually get that on the flat or downhill, but I actually got that sensation coming up, which means I was going pretty fast coming up a hill. I would guess 10, maybe 12 miles an hour, which on a bike is crazy fast. This is the old Boy Scout camp. way back many years ago, and after they left, it became the forestry camp for troubled youths. They lived up here and they worked up in the forest, planting trees, clearing the roads, give them a chance to get in tune with nature and themselves, and hopefully they go back into society as a plus. Yeah. So anyway, my friend Robin Baker, who is not here with us anymore, was a wood carver, and he was the last person that stayed in this place. And in that building there to the right, that big one, is a sawmill. Got all kinds of old timber equipment, big saws capable of making planks out of trees. And I'm pretty sure they're still there because you know, what would they do with it? Okay, a couple of things I want to go to. See that green LED? That's the battery capacity. So it's got 70% battery left, and right now I'm in the trail mode, which is 50%. And how you can tell is oh, I'm sorry, I'm in the eco mode. See, that tells you you're in the eco mode, 20%. Then as you bump up, that tells you that you're in the trail mode, and if you bump it up again, that tells you you're in a 100% mode. So I'm in the eco mode, 20%. That way I conserve as much battery, because it's not very steep from here, just a few places, but all the steep places are taken care of. Okay, one of the first things I did was as you can see, it says here the number 2 bliss ready. So I went online to find out what that meant, and what that means is that these wheels are 2 bliss ready wheels. So the first thing I did was I took the wheel off, removed the tube from it, and I put this valve stem that came with the package. And knowing I was going to do that, I bought some Stan's no tube sealant. It's like $40 for a bottle, and you can do both tires. So right now I got sealant in them, there's no tubes, so it's a lighter system. And in my backpack on me, I have a tube with a patch kit, so if anything should happen where it won't seal, I have one chance to make it back down. Yeah. I'm now at the old reservoir. This is the first of 2 old ones. This one is not being used anymore, and there's a concrete water tank up there. Anyway, I stopped here to see if I could pick some wild raspberries, but I don't know what happened, but there's none. Look at that. It's almost as if they killed them all. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe the animals got it, or... but yeah, there's nothing. Maybe they sprayed something, because it's considered an invasive species. Anyway, the wind really kicked up. Just before I turned the camera on, there was a gust that went through here that shook off a whole bunch of leaves, and I seen a bunch of broken branches on the road on the way up. So the higher I end up going, the windier it's going to be. So I got to kind of keep an eye out on falling branches. Remember I told you about the strong wind? How's that? And there's the other half over there. Man, that wind just ripped that tree like it was a twig. And the diameter is like 4.5 feet. Pretty big tree. Okay everybody, we made it to White Polo Lookout. Beautiful rainbow down there. And believe it or not, we got 50% battery. So I made it from Omipumihana to here, 11 miles and 200 feet elevation to 3,500 feet. So it's climbing all the way, and I tried my best to keep it in the eco mode, save battery. I only had to go into the trail mode about 2 or 3 times, and I never did go into the turbo mode. So that just goes to show you that there's a lot of potential in this thing. So I know for sure now that I can do the loop, go all the way up to Makakupaya, and then take any one of those roads down. And because I won't be using any battery going downhill, I'll still have enough juice to make it all the way back to Omipumihana, which is a 36-mile loop. And I'll be doing that the next time. Maybe I can get somebody to join me, younger person who I can keep up with.